Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Heal the Division. I have not been on for quite some time trying to suss out exactly what's happening in this world, but I am joined today by one of the most dear people in my life, Christine Sockol. She and I know each other from the acting voiceover world, and she's just an amazing human being. Not only is Christine an exceptionally talented actress, and she enjoyed a long and wonderful career in the voiceover world alongside the small group of us in New York City who were fortunate to have worked in the elusive industry. Her most precious role, however, is that of amazing mother and grandmother to her lovely family. She's also one of the very best friends anyone could ever have. As promised, I have my dear, dear friend, Christine Sockol, here with me, and I very much look forward to this conversation. Christine, how are you?
I'm all right, honey. I'm here with you.
I
So
know.
I'm a lot better than I've been.
It's
It's
great.
really great to be
It's
together.
it's good to talk with you.
It
How
is.
are you feeling about the world?
Um, well, as you know, I have three children. I have soon to be my sixth grandchild, and I'm worried, you know.
Right.
I'm concerned.
Yeah, as well you should be.
And you and I were, we did AIDS walks and anti-war protests and all of
Black
those
Lives
things.
Matter, the
Right.
Women's
Like,
March.
hello.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm concerned because I find the lack of empathy,
Absolutely.
compassion for your fellow man. Um,
Well, when
I
you,
know I told you this that I was going to Europe, at the end of the summer, and for the first time in my life, I think I'm going to have to apologize for being American.
I know,
Whereas normally I would be
proud.
proud to be an American. But I'm not proud of what we stand for right now. So it's
That's
a
a
really rough
terrible
time.
phrase that you just spoke, and it's
Hmm.
so true. It's
Hmm.
unfortunate,
Hmm.
especially
Yeah.
for our children and our grandchildren.
Yeah. And my grandchildren are so sweet.
Right.
You know, I have
Do,
lovely, lovely people.
do you have issue with, I've had issues with regard to, for example, I quit one of the venues I went to for reasons of MAGA people were all in that
Hmm.
place, and I
Hmm.
just can't
Hmm.
bring myself anymore to go in
And engage.
and engage with them at this point. These are three-time
Right. Well,
Trump supporters.
it's interesting because I went out of my way to engage
Hmm.
with them,
Sure.
especially during the election cycle, because I felt like if we don't talk to each other,
Well, of course.
nothing's
That's
ever
what this whole
going to
podcast
change.
originally was.
So I was all about, if I can move them an inch,
Hmm. Three
it's a
quarters of an inch.
mile.
Of
It's a
course.
mile. Um, the one thing I do find that is really difficult is that I used to literally say to people because uh, personally, my own voting history is I was not raised with a party. I was raised to vote for whoever was best for the job.
Hmm.
So I can personally tell you that I voted for Rudy Giuliani twice before he lost his mind because I thought he was doing a good job as the mayor.
As did I.
Okay.
He was New York's,
He
you
was
know,
America's mayor.
he was America's mayor.
Okay. So I did not, and I had
How
plenty of
quickly they
people. No,
fall.
no, I had plenty of people who were like, why are you voting for him? He's banning pot smoking in Sheep's Meadow. And I'm like, well, little kids are walking around Sheep's Meadow. I'm not kind of
Right,
not so
right,
bad with that. It's
right.
okay.
Yeah.
Whether I smoke pot myself or not. Like it didn't matter at the time. I kind of looked at it as no, he's looking at quality of life.
Hmm.
Where he screwed up was when he wanted to get rid of jaywalking and he got caught jaywalking. And I'm like, it's New York. You
God,
walk when you
I
can.
jaywalked all the
You walk
time.
when you can.
You walk all
Can
up.
I dodge between those cars?
I used to
And then,
veer on Sixth Avenue.
kind of play Dustin Hoffman. I'm walking here. I mean, it's that kind of thing with
So
New York.
what
So.
is there is, as I think you and I discussed this earlier, I started this Heal the Division prior
Mm,
to the election
election.
of 2024
Hmm.
in order to heal the division,
Hmm.
thinking that that might actually be possible.
Hmm.
And one of
I
my,
love the hope. Can I just say I love the hope of
well, the
that?
hope is wonderful, but
It
we,
wasn't reality, but I love the
no,
hope of it. Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But one of
Because
my
hope is what
first
we need.
interviews was with a man. His name is Rich Logis, and he was a big MAGA guy, and he left MAGA. He now has a podcast, by the way, which I'll link it. I'll link this
Mm.
um, in the video. It's Leaving MAGA, which is amazing. But
I've heard more than a few. Yeah.
I'm having difficulty with regard to the healing of the division. I'm not sure that that's a possibility at this point. I'm not feeling it. And we are in such dire straits right now within 101 days, this being, what is this, May 2nd or whatnot?
Hmm. Yeah.
It's, yeah,
Well,
his people say he's done more in 100 days. Oh, he certainly has.
it doesn't mean it's good.
Of course not. It's been
I'm just no.
atrocious.
I'm just. It's very interesting because my big problem, to be honest, is the not taking responsibility for anything, and everything is everybody else's
Well,
fault.
he's a malignant
I
narcissist,
can,
Christine.
no, I get that. But he's also
Hence the
president.
lack of empathy.
He's also president of the United States. So whether we like it or not, um, you know, as I said, you and I have talked about this before. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm a constitutionalist. My issues are with his complete lack of respect of the Constitution, the rule of law. We are a country of laws. We are not a country of men. Um,
As your lawyer brother would say.
yeah, as my lawyer brother would say.
Right.
Well, I don't know if my lawyer brother would say that right now.
Okay.
Well, who
It's a
knows?
whole,
But that's a whole nother thing. Um, but as I've told you before, my brother and I kind of went to law school together.
mhm.
This was before the internet, and he would Federal Express me his law briefs and papers for class, and have me type them up and correct grammatical errors. And so, yeah, I went to law school. I just didn't get the degree. So I'm very aware of the law.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that's one of my toughest problems with this present situation because there's no regard for the law. And that is horrifying to me. I think, to be honest, for me, the most difficult thing is the lack of courage
Oh, 100%.
that I
And
see.
that's what Kamala Harris, not Kamala, but Kamala Harris was
Yeah.
speaking about yesterday.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I saw that.
Yeah.
But like that is one of my greatest affronts to our
Mhm.
nation
Oh, yeah.
and embarrassments
The
is that
judiciary, where are they?
well,
Where
no, well, they're trying. There are
there are.
judges that are trying, and he's saying they have no right to do
They'll
that.
be shipped
Well,
off to
right.
Guantanamo
Well, I mean,
tomorrow.
when I literally saw today that the Republican members of Congress in a meeting voted
Mhm.
to deport
American
American citizens.
citizens.
And I'm like, well, where are you going to deport them to? They're Americans.
Well,
Iowa,
I mean,
Idaho, where are you going to deport them to? Like, I mean, like the idea that you could just,
Illinois,
right. Okay, so
Peoria.
or saying, right, or saying that we're going to, drop quote unquote illegal immigrant criminals in Libya and that we're just going to drop them.
You know,
But not jail them.
no,
We're
just
just going to
drop them.
release these people
Right, yeah.
that we claim are horrific criminals.
And I am
And
blanking
yeah.
on the gentleman's name who was
Mm.
deported back to
Oh, the El Salvadorian.
El
Yeah, yeah,
Salvador.
yeah. Who is not actually in MI-13.
No, and they
Yeah.
photoshopped on his knuckles
But
very poorly, I might add. I mean, if you see the
well,
photographs
this is
and the
the other
videos,
thing.
MS-13.
But this is the thing that also kind of has unnerved me over the last, I would, especially since our strike as
Mm-hmm.
actors,
Mm-hmm.
is the ability of AI.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
cannot tell you how many times I have to say to people, that's not real, right?
They don't understand that, Christine.
I-
That's a whole different
and it's
podcast.
so interesting
Yeah.
because I can see
Well,
it.
in a heartbeat, you and I
Yeah,
were trained to do that. We've been
yeah,
doing it
the
for
polar
35
bear,
years.
yeah, like
Right.
sitting there with a 5-year-old
Well, I
girl.
can also tell when VO is, when you and I are both,
Uh,
we were very
it's just
fortunate
mind
to have been,
blowing.
it is
It's
mind
mind
blowing.
blowing. It's mind blowing. Yeah.
But what's upsetting to me is there are the forever core of MAGA supporters who will follow him off of the end of the earth, no matter what
Well, that's because
happens.
they think it's flat, sweetheart.
Oh, right.
You forgot about
I
that.
totally forgot about
Yeah, you
that.
gotta forget. They
Damn.
think that the earth is flat.
They do.
Oh no,
I
there's a
think
bunch of them who
my
do.
ex-hairdresser thought the earth was
Oh
flat.
yeah. Oh no. I literally had that encounter with someone and I'm like, please don't tell your child that. They're gonna call child services on you. Don't you dare tell them that the earth is
Did
flat.
anybody prior to this election of the 32 to 35 percenters, MAGA supporters, Google the word tariff? Did they do their homework on that?
Well, there's a reason terrorists haven't been done in the last 100 years. It's because they don't work.
Oh, is that why?
Mm,
Shakalala.
hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they don't work.
No, they
I
don't
think
work.
you're right about
Yeah, I
that.
think, well, that's why we institute an
Do we
income
have any hope?
tax. Um, uh,
I'm semi, I hate to
well,
say this
I will say this. You have a son
Mhm,
who has been raised by you.
mhm.
That's your hope.
Oh,
That's
yes,
your hope.
indeed.
Um, I have a son. I have two daughters. I have these magnificent little people
I know.
who fill my heart and say the most amazing things to me.
Right.
That blow my mind every once in a while
That's hopeful.
with it. Yes, like I have hope because I need it for
Right.
them and for their future
So
because I
there
don't
is
want them to live in a country like they're living in right now.
no, you and I will be gone, and
Yeah.
this may take, I don't
Oh,
know,
there'll
if
be a
not
recovery.
decades, but another there.
I hope not. Please don't say another 100 years
I
because I really that would be really upsetting to
can
me,
take this
frankly.
250 plus democracy and just flush it down the drain. I hate to see
But
that.
this is the thing. The idea of America. America has always been an idea.
Mhm.
And the French used to refer to us as l'enfant terrible, the
Mhm.
terrible child,
Right.
because we're so young compared to the
Incredibly so.
rest of the
The
world.
world.
And yet we were industrious. We have this magnificent gift that the French gave us, which frankly we should probably get back, called the Statue
Statue
of
of
Liberty.
Liberty. Might want to ship her
That's
back
what it actually
with her hands
says.
over her
It,
eyes.
it literally says, give me your tired, your poor, your homeless, your tempest torn, you know,
Right.
give me the most broken. I mean, I'm
The most,
paraphrasing now,
but
but that's
still,
what it
that's what it
says.
is.
That's what it says.
100%.
I lift my lamp beside the golden door. We were the golden door
Hmm.
for, excuse me, people who lived in oppression.
Right.
And we, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. There's a lot of pollen in the air. By the way, there's a lot of pollen in the air these days.
Crazy guts.
That has
Crazy.
nothing to do with the orange sociopath, by the way.
No,
It's just nature.
it's yellow.
You know, it's
But
but
that kills me.
to kind of wrap this up, this particular segment, we're gonna do I'm gonna have Christine on again very soon, but this is just a brief message with regard to hope,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
That we can instill in our children and our grandchildren.
It's a podcast. It happens.
It's pollen. So I love you dearly.
I love you.
And I look forward to re-engaging my brain every day with the hope message rather than the waking up feeling.
Well, it has to be more than just um doom and gloom.
I agree.
Doom and gloom,
It's not going to get us anywhere.
it's not going to get us
I
anywhere.
100% agree.
We
Right.
need to
Right.
Open our minds.
Hmm.
Now, listen, I don't think that, frankly, that, we're necessarily the ones who need to open our hearts, because I think our hearts have been open,
My heart has always been open,
open.
but there comes a
And I
time
can agree to
that you have
disagree
to
with
get to a
people.
protective place. I'm talking about three-time Trump supporters. There's the thing, as you well know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. What about fool me three times? What does that mean? That you're just a
But
racist
no,
or
no, no,
homophobic
but no,
or
but I will say this, and I have to say this because I think this is very important.
Mhm.
Brainwashing is a thing.
Oh, 100%
And
cultish.
the Roy Cohen playbook was say
Was
it over
over
and
and
over
over
and
and over
over, and
again.
eventually they're going to believe you.
Now,
Now, I will also say this. If
that would have never worked with you or
if
me, Christine.
if
Let's
you're
be real.
well, no, but you know what?
Do your homework,
We're
people.
in the 10% of intelligence, so that's a whole other thing.
Right.
And I literally took an IQ test recently because I
Yes.
was wondering how much I lost since I was young, and I'm still in the top 10%, so it's okay.
Shakalala.
Um,
Okay.
but I will say this: when your paternal grandfather is literally a pimp, like
Hmm.
literally,
Yeah.
like this is how he made his fortune. He
Right.
opened restaurants and hotels along the gold rush during the time of the gold rush and put bordellos in every single one of them. So when your paternal grandfather is a pimp, does that lend itself to respecting women, or does
Of
it
course not.
lend
But
itself to misogyny?
one can learn otherwise.
Yes, but this is
That's
also a man who wants to have sex with his own daughter. So, that's
true
like,
that.
I
But
mean, to be honest, that's
to,
kind of the creepiest thing I think he's ever said.
the,
Of all the terrible things he said, I think that's for me the creepiest.
I think you're right about that.
No, he literally, they were in an interview
I
that I
saw the
saw
interview.
recently where
Yes.
she said, "What do you have in common?" The interviewer said, "What do you have in common with your dad?"
Right. I
And
know
she
that
said, "Golf and real estate."
golf and
And
real
he said,
estate,
"Well, I want to say sex,
but
but
she's my daughter. It's
like,
just sick.
how do you even say
I
that?"
don't know.
Like, to me, it's mind blowing.
Would you join me on future podcasts and
I would join you anywhere on the
okay,
face of
that
the
sounds
earth, my love.
great because I think that it's important that we continue this conversation. I agree with you with regard to the idea of hope and not
I just
because
don't want to give into Um, I don't want to say there's nothing we can do. I think
oh, of course there's
I
lots.
well,
We were gonna go to a march today if there were one in this
right.
area, which there was one yesterday. There will
And that was also, kind of my thing. I mean, I remember dragging my son, who literally was 4 years old at the
Harrison.
time.
Hmm.
Yes, my son Harrison. And I would take him to AIDS
Hmm.
walks
Yeah.
in New York City. And I remember Scott Linder for the last mile, because Harrison had literally, Scott Linder was my agent at Don
Yeah.
Rockwell and Associates at the time.
Great agent, by the way.
Yeah, he was. He was,
Shout out to Scott Linder.
yes, also taught my son what the C word was, but that's a whole
Okay,
nother
that's a
story.
whole that's all.
A whole nother podcast.
But to wrap it up,
But he did.
right.
He picked Harrison up, threw him on his shoulders, and said, "I am so proud of you because there are grown adults who did not do this."
Hmm.
And, that little man, who is now a full-grown man,
Hmm.
um,
And a lovely man, I might add.
yeah, he really is.
Hmm.
Um,
Did
but yeah, just patting myself on the back just a little bit. But he was so aware
hmm. Oh, he
of
still is. Oh my
of
God.
no, but I'm saying at such an early age. He
Right.
was really
So that's our
aware.
hope.
Yes.
Okay, so
Is that
that's
you
our
can,
hope.
yes, is that
Okay.
you can
All
have
right.
children, literal 4 or 5 year old
So
children
sure.
who still, like, they get
Understand it. They
goodness.
get it. They
They
get
get
it.
it.
They
They know
get
what
goodness.
they
All
get
right, let's wrap
goodness.
this with that
They get
because
goodness.
our kids and our grandkids providing they are led by us with a full heart and mind can be led with
Love.
goodness so that
With love. They should be led with love.
so that the work that you and I have done
Is not for
is
naught.
not for naught.
Yes, is not for naught.
All right.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you.
I'm glad you were here and you'll be back. Mwah.
All good.
Many, many times. Thank you all. Please like and share and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.